Hello folks, this is Professor Bourne here to chat with you about subjects. We're going to be learning to identify subjects inside of our sentences. You'll recall that sentences have three basic parts, and we identified the subject, the verb, and a complete thought as being the three components that all sentences have. Let's focus in on the subject. The subjects are the person, place, or thing that sentences are about. There's always one of these elements that is at the heart of a sentence. Now, from your grammar work already, you know then that a subject must be a noun or a pronoun, because those are the parts of speech that refer to persons, places, or things. Now, in some situations, as we'll see, you might have a compound subject, a subject that's made up of more than one thing. Most of the time, though, when we talk about the subject of a sentence, we're looking at one word. Let's look at an example or two. The monkey runs very quickly. There is only one noun or pronoun in this sentence. It is the monkey. Here's a sentence that uses a pronoun as its subject. I am cooking right now. Notice in both of these examples that the subject is coming up first in the sentence. And third, Hansel and Gretel were frightened. Here we have a compound subject, where Hansel and Gretel are both together as the subject. We're speaking of a common quality of them. Now, identifying subjects gets a little tricky outside of these basic sentences. There are a couple rules that can help us figure out which of the many nouns and pronouns that might be in a sentence, which one is the subject. The first rule for helping us navigate this is that subjects are usually the first noun or pronoun in a sentence. In English, we tend to put the subject right up front. This is not a hard and fast rule, though. There are many exceptions to this. So we do need some other rules to help us. The second thought to help you out is that the subject of a sentence has a unique relationship with the verb. A common example here is that if your verb is an action word, the subject is the person, place, or thing doing that action. And finally, this one rule's a little heavy on the grammar, but if you can identify a prepositional phrase in a sentence, you can know that the subject is never the object in that phrase. So let's try out a few examples with these thoughts in mind. Harvey brought potato salad to the picnic. Now we have three different nouns there in this sentence. We have Harvey, we've got potato salad, and we've got picnic. Now the rule of first is going to help us here. Our subject is Harvey. It is very unusual for our subject to be hanging all the way out at the end, as the word picnic is in this sentence. Example number 2. The waiter dropped my plate on the floor. Our possibilities in this sentence, our nouns here are waiter, plate, and floor. But let's think about this in terms of the verb of the sentence. The verb is dropped. Which of these nouns dropped something? The floor wasn't carrying anything. The plate certainly can't carry anything around. It was dropped by somebody else. But that makes it the object here, not the subject. The person who dropped something is the waiter, and so we're going to identify waiter as the subject. A third example, the mayor of the city presented her ideas to the public. We've got mayor, city, ideas, public, lots of possibilities here. And you should be tempted by the word mayor because, well, it's the first noun. But you also might be looking at that word city, which is right next to the verb of the sentence, presented. And we need to ask here, who presented something? And clearly, an entire city cannot work together to present. Partly they have no one to present to. It's the mayor in the sentence who is doing the presenting. Alright folks, hopefully that helps you with identifying subjects in your sentences.